Hello guys and welcome back to Car Focused. Today I wanted to go out on the RS and do a bit of a driving video. I haven't really done one, well I haven't done one this year, and it'll be kind of like a first drive of the year video, but anyway the weather has decided to wreak havoc again. It may look okay at the moment, but it's blowing an absolute gale, and at the blink of an eye it can be pissing it down with rain. We've actually had thunder, hailstones, we've had full works today, so I've decided just to stay in today. I've got a day off, doing a few little jobs, but yeah, so no driving the car. But what I do want to talk about is, what is it about this car, this old Ford Focus, that I love and that makes me want to keep hold of it forever, basically. I had somebody the other day, I was talking to a mate, and he was like, because he knows I like Porsches. I like Porsches, I'd love a Cayman GT4, a 981 or even a 718, but I can't afford one. And the only way I could afford one is if I sold this and used the money from this as a deposit, which would mean financing for a new car. I'd also really love a Volkswagen T6 camper van. I'd love a camper van just to have as like a daily car and take the family on little weekend breaks away. I think it'd be really cool. But again, ideally, I'd have to sell this in order to do that, and I just can't do it. I just cannot let this car go. Unless it's absolutely necessary, I think this car is going to be with me for a very long time, or unless I fall out of love with it majorly. I don't know what would happen, what would have to happen for that to occur, maybe like an engine failure or something, but even then I'd probably still hang in there. But yeah, I just love the car. And the reason I love the car so much is because in 2009, when it first came out, when I first laid eyes on this thing, from all the magazine reviews and stuff like that, and actually seeing it in the flesh, I just had to have one. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. The fact they turned a Bogo Mark II Focus into something that just looks so special, with a big wing, the big flared arches, the huge wheels, big side skirts, bonnet vents, and then you've got like the bigger bumpers to line up with the arches, the 5-cylinder engine, just the sound the thing made, even with a standard exhaust on, the lovely Recaro seats, just everything about the car. I just thought it was absolutely superb, and I was like, one day I'm going to have one of these. And at the time, there was no way I could afford it. I wasn't on a salary which would allow me to buy one, and even when I got my Mark III RS, I couldn't get one of these because I got my Mark III RS on PCP. Quite a good deal on it as well, a reasonable deal on it. These were at the age where you just couldn't get PCP deals on them. They weren't really on dealer forecourts anymore, like in Ford dealerships and stuff. They were on the used market, and the only way you could really buy one is if you got a loan, and then obviously you had quite high monthly payments, and back then I just wasn't in the position to buy one, so I got the Mark III. And anyway, long story short, you will not have the Mark III, but I ended up getting this, and ever since I've been totally smitten. Absolutely love it. It's just like, I've just got like a proper connection with the car. It's hard to explain, but though I'm sure some of you guys out there know what I'm talking about. When you have something and the thought of selling it doesn't even cross your mind. It's like, it's the first kind of car I've ever been like that with. And because of its age now as well, it's like a permanent reminder of that sort of time. So like around 2010, where cars like this were still being produced. Obviously now, that's a thing of the past. I mean, you've got to remember, this is front wheel drive, and it had over 300 horsepower, well 300 horsepower at the front wheels, and even by today's standards, that's still pretty bonkers. But yeah, I absolutely love it. And I'm going to quickly flip the camera around and just going to go and sit inside the car. Yeah, it's just an absolute beast. So I just feel like incredibly blessed just to have this sat in my garage. I come out of my kitchen and then I just have this car sat here, and I remember looking at these in the showrooms. I went to a couple of showrooms back in the day, 2 white ones actually, and just looking around it, I couldn't afford it, but it was just like, oh my God, like to have one of these would be a dream. And just opening up the door and looking inside, and like the smell in here as well, they've just got a certain smell. And every time I get in here, the smell of it just reminds me of those days. I've even got an old school, well, Magic Tree they were called, but a Little Tree new car scent, and I used to use those back in the day. And it just kind of reminds me of like, yeah, the good old days. But an old school interior by today's standards, but it's just perfect. This car has just got everything you need and nothing more. So yeah, just sitting in here, like, I've owned the car nearly 4 years and I still get just a little warm fuzzy feeling when I sit in this car. It's just something about it. It's just quality. I mean, today's cars, you've got so many unnecessary like gimmicky gizmos and just a load of crap, whereas this, there's not really much you can customize in here. You can change the steering, the feel of the steering, but that's pretty much it. You can turn the traction control off, but there are literally no more bells and whistles. There are no drive modes. You jump in, the feel of the suspension is, that's all you're getting. You can't, you know, there's no adaptive dampers. You've got a start button, a lovely manual gearbox. And yeah, you basically jump in and you are at one with the car. And yeah, you have to get to know it. You have to get to learn how to drive it. It's not the, you know, particularly today, it's not the tightest and quickest car on a back road, but it certainly holds its own. And once you get to know the car, you know where its limits are, and yeah, it's just fantastic. I don't even know what this video is. I just felt like grabbing the camera and just trying to explain why I love this car so much, because some people can't understand why, like, I can't get rid of the car. They can't understand why I won't sell it. And hopefully this video is kind of getting that across to you. But yeah, and then when you fire the engine up and you get the 5-pot, that is just perfection, isn't it? Should we do it? Should we start it? Yeah, let's start it. I'm gonna start it. So yeah, she's actually on 50, oh, can you see it? Hang on, the focus is gone. 55,378 miles now. So she's not a low miler. I mean, for the age she is, but in general she's not. But, so, the start sequence. Foot on the clutch, and then finger on the button. Oh yeah. Let's go and have a listen to that exhaust. Listen to that, baby. Beautiful. What a car, guys, what a car. Yeah, bit of a random video really, but I just wanted to show you why I love the car so much. And anybody else that's got one of these that feels the same, then get in the comments and let me know. Let me know why you love the car, when you first saw the car, what made you want to buy the car. But yeah, Mark II Focus RS, an absolute peach.